and Maple Grove's going to have it.
Right out in front, they score! Hello and welcome to another season of Sports Jam here on Channel 12. I'm John Jacobson.
And I'm Jay Wilcox. Thanks for joining us for our season debut for the 2014-2015 school year. We have some good soccer matchups on the show this week, and we'll meet a football standout from Park Center in our Sports Jam Spotlight.
Plus, we'll talk football with the Totino Grace Eagles. And we'll kick off the show with plenty of football highlights. Friday was week 2 for most teams, while a handful of teams were already playing their third games. Youth football night at Maple Grove as the 1-0 Crimson hosted 0-1 Armstrong. Early first quarter, and Crimson quarterback Brad Davison on the play action pass. It's a wide open Adam Brandt for an 11-yard score, and it's 7-0 Maple Grove. But Armstrong answers. Collis Barber throws, and Drew Thompson comes down with a catch. It's a 16-yard scoring play. The Falcons fans are going wild. The extra point is blocked, and it's 7-6. Crimson offense back to work again. Davison rolls out and finds Sam Renner for a 9-yard touchdown pass. Maple Grove leads 14-6. Armstrong, again though, is able to put together a good drive. Barber, good fake into the line, rolls out, tosses to Dexter Betts for a touchdown, and it's a 14-13 game early in the second quarter. After Armstrong recovers a fumble, the Crimson defense stops the next drive. Kyle Anderson sacks Barber for a big loss, and it's pretty much all Maple Grove from there. The Crimson go to the ground game. Clark Winicky with a 7-yard run up the middle goes in for a score. They put the Crimson up 21-13. And a backbreaker for Armstrong here. Barber's pass is intercepted by Chris Fondakowski. It's a pick six as he returns of 32 yards for a touchdown. Maple Grove adds 2 more rushing TDs before halftime, and they win it 47-13.
Also, Osseo on the road at Minnetonka. First quarter, 3rd and goal from the 4. Osseo's Justin Ikeor battles in for the score, and it is 7-0 Osseo. 2 minutes later, Minnetonka's Tyler Olson busts through for the score from a yard out, and this one's tied up at 7. Second quarter, and the skipper's Vance Barnes takes the ball up the right side and into the end zone for the touchdown. Minnetonka leads 14-7 at halftime. After a field goal pulls the Orioles within 4, a 4th and 10 for Minnetonka. Braden Sykes, though, intercepted, and it comes back out to the 24. On the very next play, the Orioles' Prince Krua escapes a backfield tackle, cuts outside, and takes it the distance for a 76-yard score. And the 17-14 Orioles lead with just over 10 minutes to play. He rushes for 185 yards. But just a minute and a half later, Sykes fakes the handoff and runs over a defender as he tumbles in for the score. Minnetonka adds 1 more touchdown, and they hand the Orioles a 28-17 loss. Park Center started the season with 2 wins for the first time since 1996. The Pirates wanted to keep their momentum when they hosted Blake. After recovering a Pirates fumble, Blake returns the favor. The pitch is dropped when Hector Fofana delivers a big hit. Marshawn Jones falls on it for a Park Center touchdown. The Pirates defense shuts Blake down in the first half. Watch the closing speed by Amani Hooker as he drops the runner here for a short loss. A rugby-style punt by Blake doesn't bother Adam Buirge, who makes the first tackler miss and heads upfield. He sidesteps another and then will stiff-arm the punter on the way to a 48-yard touchdown return. He also returned an interception for a TD. Park Center wins at 47-0, and we'll meet Adam Buirge later in our Sports Jam Spotlight.
The Whiteside Trojans crushed Farmington in their opener, but had a tougher night in their home opener. Egan has a very good athlete in quarterback Sam Zenner, and he torches the Whiteside defense here, blazing 71 yards for a touchdown. And it's a 7-0 Wildcats lead. Second quarter, Whiteside puts together a scoring drive. Austin Gordon with a hard run fights his way to the 1-yard line. Then Corey King powers in for a score on the next play. The Trojans trail it at 10-7. Third quarter, Egan's Troy Brown goes straight up the middle for a 14-yard touchdown, and it's 17-7 Wildcats. Whiteside field goal cuts it to 17-10. The Trojans get the ball their own 20 with 1:11 to play. Nice drive, starts up Jake Marsh, Ryan Kipe there in sync, and then it culminates. 10-yard pass, Marsh to Kipe for a touchdown, 17-16 with 5 seconds to play. Wayzata, after that touchdown, goes for 2. They gamble, and Marsh's pitch goes to Gordon, but it's high, and Egan's Brandon Carl makes the tackle to seal it, and the Trojans fall to Egan, 7-16. Hopkins and Totino Grace face a lot of good opponents in their respective conferences, and they met up in a thriller on Friday night. Hopkins scores first. Bill Atkins steps in front of Lance Bennick's pass for an interception. And Atkins returns it 48 yards for a touchdown and a 7-0 Royals lead. The Eagles tied up before the end of the quarter. Gaylor Flomo goes 10 yards on the run, and it's a 7-7 game. This was a back-and-forth game all night. Third quarter, the Eagles are down 4 until Bennick finds Ben Bazinga in the end zone for a 22-yard touchdown, and Grace is back in front. But on the very next play from scrimmage, Hopkins QB Oscar Johnson swings a pass to Dayon Campbell, and Campbell does the rest. He speeds 57 yards for a touchdown, put Hopkins back in the lead. Final minute of the game now. Grace down 7. Kez Flomo has a lot of space at the edge, carries it in from 3 yards out. Eagles down a point, 27-26. And they go for 2. Bennick, play action fake, will keep it. And he gets to the end zone, getting the conversion and winning the game for Grace. They take it 28-27. And we'll hear from the Eagles later in the show.
Brooklyn Center's football team won its opener at St. James before a close loss to St. Anthony. The third game was a tougher one. Playing at Columbia Heights, and watch the run by the Highlanders' Darius Mock. After taking the pitch, he spins away from a tackler, sidesteps a couple more, and accelerates past the last group of Centaurs for a 44-yard touchdown. Heights leads it 12-0 after 1. Second quarter, and David Dixon throws a jump ball downfield to Jarrett Baptiste, who goes up and gets it for a 30-yard gain. That one sets up a Dixon touchdown. Later in the second quarter, play action, and Dixon throws deep over the middle to Basil Muhammad behind the defense for 51 yards and 6 more points. Columbia Heights builds a 27-0 lead. Brooklyn Center shows some spark late in the first half. Tyrell Beasley makes the linebacker miss and bounces it to the outside. Beasley races down the sideline for a 40-yard gain to the Highlanders' 40-yard line. After a penalty, Chester Whaley finds Romel Carr down the sideline for a 45-yard touchdown, but it's not enough as Brooklyn Center falls to Columbia Heights 42-6.
In girls swimming and diving, Wayzata faced off with a top Lake Conference rival as they hosted Eden Prairie. 200-yard medley relay, and all underclassmen team wins it for Wayzata, with junior Colleen Donlin swimming the anchor leg. 200 freestyle to battle between Trojan teammates Sarah Lingen and Carly Quast. Lingen edges Quast for the win. 50 freestyle, a mad dash to the finish, is won by Wayzata's Madison Price. The Trojans swim past the Eagles 104-74. Saturday at the Minnetonka Invitational, Wayzata took first place in the 8-team event. The Trojans set 6 new meet records. Minnetonka finished second. Other local teams included Armstrong in 5th, Maple Grove in 6th place, and Hopkins in 7th.
John, safe to say the Trojans look pretty good again.
They return almost all of that state title team from a year ago. Stay with us. Next up, soccer highlights, plus volleyball and tennis as the season opener of Sports Jam continues.
Welcome back to the season opener of Sports Jam. Time to turn our attention to soccer.
Quite a few local teams are off to very good starts this fall. That includes the Park Center girls team. The Pirates hosting Champlin Park in Northwest Suburban Conference play. The Rebels get on the board first. Taylor Wood touch pass to Danny Johnson, who blasts the shot into the net. And the Rebels lead 1-0 with 12 minutes left in the opening half. Off a corner kick by the Pirates, Josie Pay. This one will go off the head of a Rebels defender and in. And that ties it up at 1, and that is the score at halftime. Same score in the second half, and the Pirates' Abby Wessel drops a pass back to Molly Montanu. Blasts the shot in from 35 yards out. Great goal, and Park Center leads at 2-1. Later, it's Munson taking aim again. And she'll launch another long shot into the Rebels' net. And it's a 3-1 Park Center lead. Champlin Park does get one back. A big scramble in front of the Pirates' net here. Haley Hargroder scores. That's as close as Champlin Park gets, though. Park Center's now 6-0. They win it 3-2.
The Maple Grove boys team looks like a conference title contender. They were impressive in a Northwest Suburban game against Armstrong. Maple Grove is in white in this one off a throw-in. Armstrong's defense backs off a bit, and Ben Zaver lines up a long shot, and it'll get past John Slackens in. The Crimson dominate the first half. They go up 1-0. Second half, Kevin Hoof sends the pass ahead to Ryan DuBois, who just stays onside. DuBois gets in on the breakaway, and he'll tuck it low on the far side to make it 2-0 Crimson. An Armstrong turnover leads to a goal as Daniel Cortez blasts the shot home. Maple Grove rolls to a 3-0 win to stay unbeaten.
In the girls' game, Maple Grove coming in with a perfect record and no goals allowed. Great goalkeeping for the Falcons. Anna Aguado robs Madison Carey, then scrambles to her right to stop the follow-up by Anna Byland. Late in the first half, Armstrong's Mariah Haberly battles to get some room and rolls a well-placed shot in for a goal with just 5 seconds left in the half, and that goal stands up. Armstrong hands Maple Grove its first loss of the season, 1-0. The Wayzata boys carried an unbeaten mark into their late conference opener as they played host to the Edina Hornets. Edina strikes here. Matt Dahl sends a nice pass ahead into the box. Adam Pankin volleys it over the keeper, and Sam Dunn is there to knock it in. Edina takes a 1-0 lead into halftime. Second half, and Edina looks for more. Dunn lines it up, rips a shot, but Troy Lawagi makes a diving stop for the Trojans to keep it a 1-goal game. Another near miss for the Hornets. Great ball handling by Dunn. He taps it to Matt Lindberg, but he's denied on the point-blank chance. Milwaukee another big save, and it stays 1-0. And Wayzata comes back. Lewis O'Connor is on target to Clayton Smith. And Smith then will head it to Clay Elmore for the goal. And this game ends in a 1-1 tie.
In the girls' game, the Trojans hoping to knock off the defending conference champion Hornets. Wayzata gets on the board. Megan Schwartz, a nice pass to Ruby Stauber, and she buries it with the left foot to give the Trojans a 1-0 lead at halftime. Second half, and Emily Rethlake with the header coming up for Edina. The keeper gets to it but can't gather it in, and Rethlake battles and knocks it home to even it up at 1-1. A short time later, Allie Cranfield takes the corner kick for Wayzata, and this one somehow sneaks through everyone and in. Cranfield gets credit for the goal. Wayzata goes in front by a 2-1 score. Tremendous defensive play for Edina. Wayzata's Morgan Turner will run it down, and she eludes the keeper. It looks like a sure goal, but Megan Perzer slides in to make a game saver for the Hornets. And later, Edina's Emily Bourne will line up a long shot, and she hits the net. The girls' game also ends in a tie.
In prep volleyball, Maple Grove hosted Armstrong. To pick it up in the second set, Maple Grove up 1-0. Courtney Malum with the perfectly angled shot for a Falcons point. Then a nice dig by Kelsey Sather leads to the kill by Abby Fireeisen. Maple Grove answers. The set goes to Laura Brixius here for the kill. And then on game point for the Crimson, Brixius and Alexa Otto combine for the block, and a 25-19 win. Crimson up 2-0. Set 3. Armstrong builds lead. Madison Molling's block puts the Falcons ahead 13-8. But the Crimson rallies. Ace serve by Mary Peterson puts MG up 20-17. Great dig by Amber Domengi, and then a huge kill by Lauren Bright. Maple Grove takes the set 25-18 in the match 3-0.
A meet honoring the long careers for two Hopkins cross-country coaches has become a staple on the early season schedule. The Hopkins boys race to the win at the Bauman Round Invitational at Gale Woods. Eden Prairie is second and Chanhassen third. Armstrong is fifth, Park Center 15th. Joe Klecker of Hopkins is the individual winner. Wilmer takes the girls' championship ahead of Eden Prairie and Minnetonka. The Hopkins girls are 6th and Park Center 13th. Anastasia Korzanowski of Chanhassen is the medalist.
In prep tennis, Maple Grove hosted Anoka, won singles. Hayden Andre on the near court for Anoka. Rachel Ellingson from Maple Grove. Ellingson with the winner. Won doubles. Kayla Berry serving for MG and sets her up for a cross-court forehand winner. Anoka serving, and Berry's return sets up Sam Welch for the volley winner as the Crimson duo take that match. Number 2 singles, Peyton Ordner serving for the Crimson. Her backhand drop shot is good for a point. At number 2 doubles, Allie Schmidt and Zoe Lynn in the far court for Maple Grove. Lynn gets the overhead winner. Schmidt and Lynn take the match 6-3, 6-1, and the Crimson wins the match over Anoka 6-1. And J. Maple Grove will face Elk River, Blaine, and Osseo on consecutive days this week.
Yep, busy week for them. Next up in our Sports Jam Spotlight, meet one of the metro area's top football recruits, Adam Buirge of Park Center. One of the area's top football players is helping to lead a turnaround at a school that hasn't had a lot of success on the football field recently. Here's our first Sports Jam Spotlight for this school year on Park Center's Adam Buirge. They say winning isn't everything, but for Adam Buirge and his Park Center teammates, it's sure fun to experience some success after years of struggle.
Throwing it up the seam for Buirge, and he's got it. Touchdown, Park Center.
It's been really good. The team's energy has been more positive throughout the season. Last year, when we started 0-2, it was kind of like, oh, here we go again. But now we're a little more up-tempo and positive about everything.
After being more of a defensive back who played some wide receiver, Adam's become a full-time go-to offensive threat for the Pirates while still excelling on defense. Off-season prep work helped steer him that way.
Once I started going to camps, I was like, they had me go both sides, and I was like, I kind of like playing receiver. So I was telling the coaches I'd like to play offense at college, and then I started getting recruited that way. So.
Without much of a recent track record in football, it's not been uncommon for players to decide not to play for Park Center. Buirge attended Totino Grace as a freshman, but he's happy to be in his neighborhood school and didn't want to leave.
I think people thought that I would, but I didn't really have any thought in my mind. I mean, I was getting recruited here through my sophomore year, so there wasn't really a point to me. And I knew my senior year we would be able to win, so I was excited for it.
Adam means a lot to this program. He's a kid who are letting the kids here to realize that you don't have to go to Osseo or Champlain Park to have an opportunity to not have a good high school career, but have the opportunity to go to college as well.
Teaming with his longtime friend Amani Hooker at receiver, Buirge has helped the Pirates offense and quarterback Lawrence Ogunti put up some eye-opening numbers.
It's fun because if you go to one side, the left side is going to be open. They can't cover both, so it's just fun. It gives other people the opportunity to get touchdowns and stuff like that too.
He brings speed, leadership. He's not afraid of anything. He's willing to do whatever it takes to help the team out.
He's a leader. I mean, he plays every facet of the game well, and he's one of the best players we feel in the entire state, and we're glad he's a part of our team.
Adam's speed and hands would make him a pretty good player anyway, but he's also really stepped up his efforts to become a complete receiver.
During the summer, I worked out with Bill Welly at WellyFast, and our coach Jordan Salas works there too. He's a trainer there. It's just all about footwork. Routes are key, especially as I'm a DB. I know what I don't like when receivers do, so I try to do that to my opponents when I play receiver as well.
He's coming out of his breaks a lot better, a lot faster, and he's sitting down. He's able to read coverages, and his football IQ is off the charts for his age. He can come to the sideline and say, Coach, I think we can get this route, and we'll go out, and sure enough, and it might not be designed for him, but he's like having another coach on the football field.
Buirge is verbally committed to Northern Illinois, a program that's had back-to-back 12-2 seasons and is coached by former Wayzata star Rod Carey.
I like the coaches a lot. I was there 3 times in the summer, and each time I liked it more and more. So, I mean, when I made my decision, I knew it was the right decision, and I'm really excited to get out there.
He'll be a Husky next fall. For now, Adam Buirge wants to see how far he and his Pirates can go.
This is history here. Last 2-0 start was 1996. So that was the year I was born, and it was this means a lot to me and my team. I feel like we need to make a strong run in sections because that hasn't been here either. We haven't won any section games when I've been here, and it would mean a lot to the school and just to the program itself to win a couple section games this postseason.
Buirge has 13 catches for 272 yards and 3 touchdowns through 3 games. He's also rushed for 121 yards and has touchdown returns on an interception and a punt return. Because they played a 0-week game, Park Center has a bye this week, and the Pirates resume action against Elk River September 19th. John talks football with the Eagles from Totino Grace when Sports Jam returns.
Welcome back to Sports Jam. As you saw earlier in the program, Totino Grace is now 2-0 in the season in football with the 28-27 win over Hopkins last Friday, and they join us now here on the show. Head coach Jeff Ferguson along with Isaac Florell and Ben Mazinga. And Ben, congrats on this win. What was it like to play in a tight game like this early in the season?
Oh, it's a blast. It's definitely needed by our team to be able to come out and work hard for a win and know what it's like to play teams like this and know what we have to do the rest of the year.
Every Totino Grace team is different, but you guys have been strong year after year. After 2 games, what would you say are the strengths, or what have you done well so far early in the season?
Our strengths are definitely our running attack and our defensive positions. We have good players all around, and I feel like we have some things we have to work on, but once we clean those up, we'll be pretty hard to beat. But at the same time, we got to keep our heads about us and be able to play like we know we can.
Congratulations on this win.
Thank you very much.
Isaac Florell, a nice win for your team. What's it like to play in games like this?
Honestly, it's a great thing, playing alongside your teammates. We're just battling out there every play. You're just coming together. I got my little brother next to me every play, and it's probably the best thing in the world, just sharing a win with teammates that have been with Ben since sophomore year. So it's just great to be out there fighting with your team.
How good was Hopkins? Were they a better club than you might have thought?
No, we knew they were good. We knew they had some great athletes out there. They came out there, and they were prepared. And there were some things that we didn't execute on, and there was some execution errors, but we went in the locker room. We took care of a few of those things. And we have to, moving forward, we have to just stay on our execution. That's one of the big things we got to work on.
You get back into conference play next week, road game at Spring Lake Park. Panthers, a longtime rival of Grace. What do you expect from them?
I expect them to come out there, and they're going to try to hit us in the mouth, and we're going to hit back. It's going to be a physical game, and we're going to go out there, and we're going to play some football. It's fun to go play the guys across the pond over there in Spring Lake Park. It's always a great game.
Thanks for your time. Good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you.
Head coach Jeff Ferguson today was standing near some Grace fans along the fence there at the end after you scored the touchdown to make it 27-26, and they said, Ferguson's going to go for 2. Before they even saw you come out of the tunnel, tell me what goes through your mind when in a situation like that.
We knew we were going to go for 2. I mean, the question was what play we were going to call, but it was we didn't want to go overtime. We felt like we had a good 3-yard play, and we went with it and put the ball in Lance Bennick's hands, and the rest is history. We love games like this, and we're really respectful, obviously, of our competition, and we wouldn't want it any other way.
You guys, the coaches were all wearing the Tackle Cancer shirts tonight, and I know that's something the Coaches Association has been involved in the last few years, but it's really personal for you guys here at Totino, isn't it?
It is. Our manager, Rachel Wall, has battled cancer, and she's dear to all of us, and we love her. She's really been a critical part of our team for several years now, and got sick again in October, and handles it with such dignity and grace and strength. It's bigger than a game. It's bigger than high school football, and she's just a beautiful young lady. We love her.
Coach, thanks for your time. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thanks, John.
The Totino Grace football team 2-0 after a 28-27 win over Hopkins. And again, they travel to Spring Lake Park Friday night. We'll come back and wrap up Sports Jam after this timeout.
Our game of the week is a great football matchup as Maple Grove coach Matt Lombardi leads his Crimson against his former team Wayzata for the first time. Watch the game live Friday night at 7 on Channel 12 and 12.tv, or catch the replays Saturday night at 7 and 10 or Sunday morning at 10.
And that'll do it for the season opener of Sports Jam.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you out at the games.